Welcome to Hope and Direction. I'm Pastor Matthew, and we're so glad you joined us today. This week we've been talking about a 5-part series, how to instantly start solving 80% of your problems. And we've talked about all kinds of things that we can do that are going to help bring us hope and direction in the face of the troubles and the pains and the hurts that we experience in our lives. What do we do when people have wronged us? How do we handle that? And the deepest problem that we've experienced is what the Bible calls bitterness. You know, holding a grudge, feeling upset about it, being angry with that person, wanting to hurt them back for what they did or wanting them to pay for what they did. All of these things all surround what the Bible calls in Hebrews the root of bitterness. And we've talked about various things each day that are going to be able to help us to instantly start solving 80% of our problems, because 80% of our problems are really all about what we do with the things that are hurting us, what we do with the things that have been done to us that have been wrong, okay? And if you want to check out those other videos, highly recommend that. You can find those at BridgePoint Church Valparaiso YouTube channel. And if you want to visit our Facebook page, you'll find all of that content there as we went over all 5 of those this week in our past videos. But today we're capping it off talking about one of the most significant things that you can do to start solving 80% of your problems. And one of the things that we know is that violence breeds violence. Evil makes evil. Hurt makes hurt. And it seems captain obvious, but somebody, somewhere, has to break the cycle. Somebody, somewhere, has to break the cycle. And for us to instantly start solving 80% of the problems, we're going to have to want to break the cycle. Scripture makes very clear in Romans chapter 12, it says this: do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Now, easily said, hard done, right? The task of starting to solve our problems is not to perpetuate our problems. One of the things that's so difficult for people is that they're tempted to be able to return evil with evil. They're tempted to return violence with violence, hurt with hurt, pain with pain, wrong with you need to be wronged. Understandable. All of us have felt that way. But what we found is that when we exercised that, here's what it did. At best, it made it worse, and it kept the problem going. And one of the great things about having Jesus and the love of God in our life is that he actually empowers us by his Spirit in us to have the power to break the vicious cycle of evil and pain. I remember the first time I heard someone talk to me and they said, "Oh, you've got an evil for evil cycle going." And I was like, "A what?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, an evil for evil." And I'm like, "No, I don't. That person wrong. We gotta fix that. We gotta get that person to pay up for that. We gotta get them to resolve it. They gotta stop." And the person's like, "Whoa, slow down. You're just like them. You're going to make it worse by the way you're behaving. You got evil for evil, evil for evil." You see this a lot in broken relationships, especially, and I just say this very sadly, a lot of times in marriages. You take 2 people, they totally love each other, they go to the altar, they get married, they're super happy, and then they start hurting each other, and then they get this awful cycle, evil for evil for evil for evil for evil. But look you know what she did, you know what he did. And Scripture makes very clear that the love of God cuts straight through that. And if we really want to start solving 80% of our relational problems, spiritual, emotional, psychological issues, it's going to be breaking the cycle of evil and not returning evil with evil, but returning it with good. Now, here's the great news. Not only does God provide you the power to break that, but when you do it, and I know it's crazy to believe this, it will feel great. When you finally say, God, I let go. I'm not going to let that root of bitterness grow. I'm not going to allow this to overcome me. I'm not going to take revenge. I'm going to fight fire with fire by loving instead of hating. I'm going to let you, God, take care of it. And I am not going to be ruled, dominated, controlled by evil, but I am going to live in your good love, and I'm going to choose to give back good instead of evil. You will be free. And it will feel so good. And you will have a lightness about you. You will have an ability to be able to see things clearly for the first time. The scriptures is so powerful. The reason why God came is to go overcome the work of the evil one. And the evil one wants nothing more than for you to be trapped in a bitter cycle, in a psychological downward spiral. And the way to get out of it is to trust God, forgive, and not be overcome by evil and let it dominate you, but overcome it by returning it with the good of the love of God. It's so basic. It's so straightforward that it's almost hard for us to receive, and yet we can. A lot of people feel like that's crazy, but what they've found is that when they didn't let evil dominate and overcome them, but they overcame evil with good, they started solving 80% of their problems. Today, we want to bring you some hope. We want to bring you some direction. We want to bring you a place of encouragement through these videos. If you receive that encouragement today, we encourage you to like the video on whatever platform you're watching it on. Please subscribe to our channel, to our Facebook channel, or our Facebook group, and definitely share this on social media with anyone that you think could be encouraged by it. We're going to come to you starting next week. We're going to be doing more Hope and Direction every day, Hope and Direction at high noon. And we also encourage you, please tune in this Sunday. We're starting a new series, a new sermon series, Sunday 10:30, and it's going to be about true spirituality. Everyone wants to be spiritual, and the question is, how do we get to that place? We want you to be able to have a true, authentic spirituality, and it's going to be exciting as we take a look at that starting this Sunday at 10:30. Until the next time we get together, keep the eyes of your heart focused on Jesus. Let's follow him together.